welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Lines Forever. Got some more ladder games. We'll start with this one, Nexus versus Zock, and then we're gonna watch some more of Nexus, but against Adjux. I guess people are maybe getting warmed up for the end of year tournament, the Legend of the Stars Championship, won last year by Mephi, which was maybe not the most expected result. It'll be interesting to see what Zock can do at that tournament. He looks extremely strong. So, Cert is major. Nexus gets a P-Gen and 3 mexes. Zock doing the old no P-Gen, 2 mexes. So Nexus kinda just delays going to Hydra a little bit. Gets a bit more mass. Cause he's greedy like that. Similar timing on the factory up on the cliff. Score wise you can see it's definitely better for Nexus anyway. Bit of manual reclaim. What do we get out of this? Just inties. Same for Nexus. Only builds one factory up here, builds the next one over here. That's kind of interesting. Has just enough mass, really. He's making lots of engies out of this. Just to test the defenses, one mantis to, well, maybe defend the engineers as well as test against some very greedy builds where there's no tank here. And then yeah, he's gonna set up his factories down here. It is kind of terrible when your factories are, if you have a lot of factories down here, it can really, the pathing will just fuck you and make your reinforcements go extremely slow. So you kind of don't want to build down here too much. You can throw a couple of factories down, but you don't want to be going for lots of adjacency and shit. Zock doing the same thing, puts his factories out here. And Zock makes a lot of units on this bottom side all the time to attack his opponent's expansion, but Nexus moved across very fast to block that. And actually he just stopped by just to force it back, and then he's going to leave to mid immediately. Can't afford to stay and like build a PD or something, but he actually did enough to scare Zock, and now he has probably enough reinforcements to defend PD up here. Can probably run past this PD. Yeah, not really. So well positioned PD here to fall back to in the case of getting overrun by units. You can see he has no units with him, so he just makes a little gap in the wall. Now he's going to try and kill some stuff, and while they're microing in mid, they're also, Zock is forcing Nexus to react down here. Always good to test your opponent's APM. Nexus is taking a lot of Medusa fire. He's forced off the position. He's so low already, 3k. Jester's coming in. Medusa's still target firing him, so he has to dodge. 2k. But he hit Mobile A there very fast. He obviously I guess he had just lost an air fight somewhere. Not sure where. Does a good job, denies the speedy, and leaves himself some reclaim to grab, but Zock does get most of the mid reclaim, and the gestures are going to work on the top side. Should deny this factory and his mexes. Oh, so close to being built. That's sad. Sad for Nexus. 2 on A turrets going up. They're a very, very solid unit. The Jesters just leave. T2 land is complete. Hoplites. Interesting choice. I mean, rhinos can have problems shooting with the, you know, shooting the terrain. So it's not exactly the most flat map. As you can see, it's humps and bumps and undulating hills. And yeah, like for example, you can see how there's plenty of spots where you can't build a factory because the ground is too uneven. That also creates problems for rhinos with their laser weapons. Jesters still raiding mexes. Oh, just the fade away mech snipe there. Pretty nice, and a massive span through mid. Great radar in middle. Gives him just total vision of everything if he had power, of course. Just finishing his T2 gen. Extremely common to stall when you get in your T2 gen. Just rush it. Stall for a short period of time. One energy storage can help with that, as well as being obviously very useful for overcharge. And he's just raiding everything right now. Nexus doesn't have enough units at all. He has so many T2 mechs. He just over-ecoed as he maybe he has a weakness for that, I would say. Over-ecoing. See the rhinos. Doing a pretty good job. It's 19 Medusa. 1 rhino and 1 mantis. That's a composition. And Zock now just has a massive lead. See, just went for aggression. He got a lot of mid mass. He didn't use it in mexes. He used it in, well, getting this T2 air factory and speed gen, and getting a whole bunch of team on spam. Now we have 9 Corsairs. Huge force of Corsairs. So Nexus probably can at this stage deal with continued T1 spam, but now instead he has to deal with Corsairs. Got 11 of them out. He's just spamming them. I don't think he's gonna switch to Inties anytime soon. He has pretty even air force actually. Let's see what the Corsairs can do to the Inties. They probably make the difference. Yeah. Corsairs, even with their pretty lackluster AA, there's just so many of them that they make the difference. Hoplites, he's doing his best with them. They're doing pretty good damage, but it's so intensive to just use this unit, and you're trying to run away from mantis or chase them down, always maintaining distance and maintaining radar coverage. It's pretty tough. And also, I mean, Corsairs are easily gonna just one-shot any hoplites around. Corsairs were just patrolling in a circle, not actually shooting at anything, which is weird. They didn't attack at all, even though they're right over units. Another air fight. which may actually be won by the Corsairs again. Nexus trying to run away, and you can't run away from homing missiles. More gestures going in. There's a huge amount of reclaim here. T2 PD goes up, but thanks to cyber and lasers and the terrain of Certus once again, it's painful. You really need to find the perfect spot. Like perhaps like on this hill would be good. It's tiny. But you know, to do that you're gonna have to go into this camera mode to actually find the correct spot, so it's not ideal. And there goes. Hoplight's just getting one shot. Very squishy unit. And I think Nexus just kind of waiting to die. He can't kill these Corsairs. He just can't, and he has a significant amount of rhinos, pretty significant. But he only has 4 flak. He needs like 20 flak at least, or something. Like he has 21 Corsairs flying around against him. And Zock has gone for the T3 land. So there you go. Go with the Jesters. He wins air control, gets the Jesters, does some raiding, and also gets Nexus very low in mid, so he gets all the mid reclaim. And let's see what this does. Attacking some engineers, and he's killed 1 shield and a P-Gen. 2 shields. Oh, this P-Gen is low. There's 2 more Corsairs. Nexus maybe talking a bit too soon. Hardly worth. Well, there goes the second P-Gen. And Nexus needs that power. He hasn't restarted his. I think he had to wait for a T2 NG to come out. And he has no T3 land units yet. He does have the HQ, but can't even build anything from it because he doesn't have the power. More Corsairs coming in. Rhino's gonna try and attack the loyalists. They're not attacking the low HP guy. There he goes. But they really have no chance against this force. More Corsairs flying in. Just gonna continue to just suicide them in, keep the pressure on. It's really, he can afford to do it. If he does it, then if he can keep killing with power, then we won't see any significant T3 land. He has a huge amount more eco as well, so it's basically over now. Still, this is dead. So yeah, Zock went for the Jester. Jester's getting kills, a lot of mech kills, a lot of damage on next ACU, which gave him the mid mass. Then he went into a big Mantis spam, which, well, it wasn't the hugest, but it was pretty big, and Nexus had kind of made too many mexes while also going T2 land. And the hoplites, well, if he had more of them and more Mantis supporting them, would have been good. And then after that, Zock goes into Corsairs, and that Nexus just never had an answer for the Corsairs. He could never win air control. And they eventually pretty much finished the game. So now we'll move on. Zock bows out. And Adjux is going to step in. play against Nexus again on the same map. Both players pretty sure going random. Never known Adjux to be much of an AN player, so I'd say he's going random. Six engineers, tank, scout, engineer, tank, scout, infinite engineers. Nexus taking his time. Well, it looks like he's just going infinite engineers. That's a bit risky. Ooh. Excuse me. But yeah, again, saying you only have to worry about the lab really that's gonna raid you. You just can't get raided by Aurora. They're just way too slow. Far, far too slow. Next is gonna do the same build again. Walk over here, build, walk over here, stop any attack. It's not likely you're gonna get some big push here from an AN player because of the Aurora. You can't really just, you can't just give that move order, push in. You gotta give an attack move and then retreat when your opponent reacts. And the bomber is dead. Instantly caught by Nexus. It's a good catch. And so he will have more inties now as well. 3 factories on the top for Adjux. And a late bomber, well, not too late, but I do really like the timing of this bomber. Oh, the dodging was so strong. It actually didn't even drop at all, thanks to the dodging by Adjux. So I think that is a very good timing for a bomber. But he could have done a better job defending it, I think, and also, yeah, just a good reaction from Adjux to keep dodging and kill the bomber very quickly. See some mobile egg and mixed in. Always want to do that as Aeon. You gotta have a couple of them just to deal with any bombers. I mean, you can't stop a bomber from just suiciding into your Aurora, but you can stop it from getting 2 passes. And Adjux is the only guy in mid right now. Nexus has nothing there. Quantum Gateway is going to be dead very quickly. Thanks to these fervors just do massive damage. He's going to kill a lot of reclaim though. That's, well, maybe not that much, but killed a bit. And he's going to get all of this, basically. And if Nexus stops for a second, he's going to get pinged by Aurora and fervors. This guy killed his full vet. So he killed the Quantum Gateway. Nice one on the top. He's gonna, oh, he has a Medusa out, so can perhaps get something done here. Adjux leaves mid, and he has a lot less reclaimed, even though he got all of that mid Quantum Gateway. You can see Nexus has more here. Adjux still has some left here. So yeah, Nexus just being a bit better reclaiming around the map, but Adjux got mid, so still didn't make up for it somehow. T2 land coming up. A few T2 mexes done, quite a few actually. Quite a few done for Nexus as well, and already Gonna try and storage the ones in his base, and he's going for hoplites again. Even better choice now than they were in the previous game, thanks to all these squishy Aurora that are gonna get rocketed. Sending them to the bottom side where there are a lot of Aurora, he won't be able to go too far. The ACU should stop it, but can definitely take care of this army. Ah, glorious. Huge amount of spam, and Nexus can just micro these hoplites and kill every bit of it. Adjux is not really using these units very well, running up onto the cliff. Now he's getting in close to them. These hoplites are going to actually take damage. They can also damage each other, so you want to be careful they're not shooting units beside other hoplites. You don't want to see any team killing. So pretty good showing for the hoplites. He lost a couple, but certainly won this battle and left a fair bit of reclaim. Some of the reclaim's going to be destroyed by the hoplite fire, unfortunately, but you can't win them all. Can't get everything you want. Again, Nexus getting reclaim on the top here. Looks pretty good for him. We'll have to see where the T3 land is. It should be... It's almost done. Nexus a bit behind, but he's gone for T2 air as well, so that will delay you. Adjux also moving more assists onto air, realizing he has had a pause for a while, so certainly had air disadvantage. So we'll have to see how Nexus uses that. He's not making any offensive air units right now. Focus on other things. Can continue moving here. There's still just Adjux has made no T2 land. Oh, that's... Where's the TML? I mean, where's the TML from Nexus? There's so many mexes that are just... There's not even one TMD yet. There's not even a TMD planned. Where is the TML? You can just put one very far back and kill any mechs you want. I mean, where's... Do we have a T2 engineer somewhere? I mean, look. Put it in your base and kill as many mechs as you want. It's pretty amazing that he's not reacting at all to that. It's pretty sad. That would... an assisted TML right now would just probably win the game. I mean, Adjux has an ACU here to maybe throw up a TMD. But in mid... Oh god, he's building radars. I think he means to be building... he means to be building TMD, but that is not a TMD. That's a radar. Loyalists, come over here. Harbor's dropped in the corner. There's only T1 mexes, and it's just left a lot of mass. 2 loyalists were able to deal with them with the help of a couple of mantis. Hoplites on the cliff, gonna shoot down. They're protected from the PD. This PD will actually one-shot Hoplite, by the way. It might even kill both of them if it hit. Does 600 damage and has AoE. The cliff is protecting. Nexus, I think, just deep dived for a single transport. The Harb, there was not a Harb on board, but he wins air extremely convincingly. It's impressive production. 4 T3 factories. So we're gonna have a lot of Harbs out. Nexus using T2 transports to move his bricks around. Still, no TML. I mean, similarly, a TML from Adjux would be sick right now. I mean, there's a lot of unprotected Nexus here, and he can build this right next to himself. Serious lack of power. And he just lost 2 T2 Mexes to that brick. Did clean it up quickly, kept the third Mex, but another brick lands here, kills 3 T2 Mexes, and now, oh, there goes another one, and this will also get cleaned up. Those radars going down, and Nexus just absolutely annihilated Adjux's eco. He's rebuilding straight to T2 Mexes on this. That's pretty good. Although you should reclaim. Although maybe he's afraid he doesn't actually have enough power to do that. So he just goes for the rebuilding, because that's going to have the energy cost of it. It's not going to be the most efficient mass-wise, because you would get back 81% of the mass if you reclaim and then rebuild. Whereas if you build on top of a dead wreck with the exact same building, it starts at like halfway. So you get half the mass costs and half the energy cost paid for. So I guess building on top was fine there, considering his power situation. TMD is going up. Got a bit of a fight on the top. Adjux does need to be careful about his power. I mean, if he goes into a fight and ends up dropping those shields, could be fatal. That's a bit of a donation from Nexus, I would say. He had already killed those T2 Mexes there, I'm pretty sure. 23 Harbingers, that's quite a lot. Only have 6 bricks. I mean, well, we have 8 because there's a couple on this transport here. So, and there's only a few loyalists. So you actually have a serious land advantage if Adjux actually just pushes, because Nexus has been using so many bricks. Through a brick here, through a couple of bricks here, through a brick over here. I mean, it gets really dangerous when you're against Harbs and they can just walk across the map. Or sprint across the map, actually. This was a great fight for Nexus, though. He's actually gonna... Oh, another great fight. See, the Harbs are so split up. It's pretty weak unit management. He's just getting kited, and his Harbs are all very spread out. Bricks showing their strength there. Nexus drops in more reinforcements. He's also going to get all this mass. I don't think there's any hope for Adjux to get this. And those couple of fights may just seal the deal. Again, taking this reclaim. Adjux making heavy shield. It's pretty expensive. Pretty expensive. He's making it on a T2 commander as well. Do I see? I do. G3 Mexes. 3 of them. And a spider has begun. Well then, maybe it was already lost before these couple of fights, but now it definitely is. See, I feel like these are vulnerable. I mean, he did have T2. Oh, Adjux. Damn, caught out. But yeah, I mean, Nexus was the one doing all the drops. I mean, the Adjux did one drop over here with probably his first harb, and it was that's actually the harb that died. It never got reclaimed, but it didn't really do much. Got cut out by two loyalists, just sprinted over there and finished off the harb, which was just killing T1 mexes really. But he had Adjux had more units after all those drops. I mean, but he had gone way behind in eco. I mean, if he gets some harbs in here, these mexes are gonna die really fast. I mean, it's gonna take like 10 seconds if he has two harbs shooting at this. I think it's about 10 seconds or maybe 7 or 8 seconds. And I mean, if he kills the T3 mexes, then, or even a couple of them, then eco is back even again. There's not that much power. I mean, this seems very exposed, like all the way back here. There's good radar coverage, but none of the radars are actually guarded or shielded, so don't know, maybe he needed some drops, some drop in the back to really get serious damage done. But yeah, nice enough play for Nexus, getting the drops off and killing those mexes. I would have loved to see some TML in this game. It's very strong on Certus. Next game, we're on Twin Rivers, Nexus and Adjux again. Aeon again for Adjux versus Nexus in the Seraphim. Formerly his main faction. Both these players, notable Seraphim players. Especially Adjux, I would say. Nexus at some point decided he had to switch to Cybern to get more points. Shameful, really. So normal build order, get some reclaim here, get some reclaim here, get these mexes and the hydro. Assist your ACU. One guy's getting these mexes and some reclaim, maybe going towards the island even. And Selines and tanks. If you make like 4 engineers, then you can defend here with the 5th unit as a tank. If you know your opponent's sending a lab, it's usually fast enough. Both players making a bomber, and both bombers. Oh, there goes one engineer. There goes an Aurora and 2 engineers. This guy attacked a. Ooh, we got some nice micro there. So pretty nice damage, but perhaps less valuable engineers here were killed. This guy getting killed is more painful than losing one of these guys, but Adjux did lose like maybe 4 units there rather than just the one, so both players seem pretty good with the bomber. These mechs are gonna be slow as fuck. Nice advantage that Adjux got out of sending his ACU here, otherwise he probably would have lost this NG barring some more nice micro. Realized he built 2 radars, reclaims one of them. They do cost 80 mass, so you don't want to just throw that away. The game is very simple when you boil it down. I mean, if one group of Engies that's gonna build factories, You have another group of Engies that's gonna build power, and that's what you need. Very simple. Now, how many engineers, and when do they build them, and where do you send your units? Gets a bit more complicated, but so looks basically dead even. Just Nexus trying to get some raids off, and also putting a lot of pressure on the air. There is a transport. I think he spotted that and wanted to go after it. I think he's searching for it, maybe with these scouts. Will he react? He's forcing mobile anti-airs out now, which is pretty good. The less Aurora you have to deal with, the better. He spots the transport. It's targeted and it's going down. It's actually going to take the engineers with them. That's pretty nice. A lot of tanks on the side here. A few tanks here are going to get this raid done. I think he even killed Did he kill another Inti there? Maybe with the tanks? That would be pretty nice. Transport sinks with its cargo to the bottom of the ocean. Or the river, I should say. We are on Twin Rivers. Nexus actually out of mass. Gets T2 max to upgrade another one. Might be good to not make the second one right now, but you know, it's Nexus. Just gonna power through the stall. And yeah, you can see it's just manually reclaiming stuff. Sending every engineer he can to all the rock spots, which is around these boulders basically. It's where the rocks are. Here, 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 on the island. And he's now dropping this bottom island. Certainly want to just run over this. So there's very few tanks. Oh, the ACU is quite far forward. It's getting baited into the ACU, it looks like.
Commander under attack.
Adjux has not got a transport, just making one now. He's bolstered his air force. He has a lot of anti-air, I think. No, in fact, not too much, not too much. That's a good number, really. Don't want too many. Just enough to deal with the bombers and maybe get a bit of damage to Intis as they fly over. Nexus looks like he has this island secured. Adjux transport is out and ready. No walls in the SPD, so it can do a lot of damage. I mean, Aurora is just so squishy that it can kill a lot of them fast. Got about 11 kills there, I think. So definitely worth it. Adjux very, very exposed here. I think he may have just fucked up.
Commander under attack.
Okay, his reinforcements were here, but still dangerous. Still dangerous for him. Needs to be careful. He has no T2. No T2 land at all. I think it's kind of a common mistake, which is just relying overly on Aeon T1. I think you gotta get some T2 out there.
Commander under attack.
Especially if you're going to be this advanced into your opponent's territory and they're making Yoshi's. There's no commander upgrades between either of them. But he's making this push kind of work right now. but there's more and more Ilshis coming out. We got 4 out now. None of them have been overcharged yet. Adjux is pretty low on HP, 5k. There goes an Ilshi. And the Aurora, oh, he's getting focus fired now. Another Ilshi goes down. 4k HP for Adjux. Nexus still in a healthy 7k. Ilshi goes down. Oh, these two. He missed his chance to overcharge both of those. And it looks like he's just gonna die here. It's just pure suicide right now. Oh, Adjux, that was silly. There's no need to suicide. Be like that was Aeon-induced brain cancer. Just happened there. Well, bit of a suicide. It was pretty. Nexus played pretty well. He got just used his ACU well enough. Didn't lose too much HP. Just kind of kept baiting Adjux further in, and then there was eventually enough Ilshis, and Adjux hadn't got the HP. Not sure why he committed so hard. I mean, he wasn't hugely behind. Not hugely, maybe slightly. Next, Theta Passage 5. Gotta better hurry up, I have shit to do. Adjux. Aeon again. Maybe he's just going Aeon. On the other hand, it does happen that you just get the same faction over and over. Because that's how random works. And I'm not kidding. So here you can see the difference between the PGen build and the no PGen build. Adjux has to delay this mex. Doesn't have to delay it that much, I have to say, but he does have to delay it because otherwise his ACU would be at the Hydro before an engineer, and the ACU cannot build a hydrocarbon. I would be interested to know who decided what the ACU can't build storages or radar. It's pretty good, but interested to know who decided that and what their reasoning was. I guess we'll never know. It does work pretty well though. 2 PGens and an air factory, so we got 8 PGen second air for Nexus. And he's gonna make a bomber. And 8 PGen second air for Adjux. And is he gonna make a bomber? But his air factory is, well, it's a bit behind. It's a bit behind. He is making a bomber, of course. Why would you make second air on Theta Passage 5 and then make an Inti? That would make no sense whatsoever. Raid over here. The Aurora is dead. Absolutely annihilated. Had no scout with him. There's no radar built yet, so he had no chance whatsoever. And oh, there goes the Celine. We should see this NG die. Oh, he tried to build, but the Aeon PGen is just on the ground. It's just a puddle, so you can shoot over puddles pretty easily. Unfortunately, there's another Aeon puddle, which might cease construction once this NG gets bombed. Oh no, it's this guy. Here goes one. Meanwhile, Adjux's bomber is over here doing not much. He's busy dodging well. He's aiming at a Celine. Oh no, no, no. Don't want that. He loses this NG anyway. Looks like Adjux is gonna kill this guy. Another one goes down, and an Aurora. Just 2-for-1 package deal there. Aiming at Mass Extractor. Another not so great choice. And the bomber has just decided to just bug out like a motherfucker. Aeon bombers can do that, where they just look at it. It's literally just flipping around in the air because it's shaped like a boomerang. At least that's what I tell myself. It is liable to just fucking flip around in the air and not do what you want. Very sad when that happens. Building a PD in his base, Nexus, he's really afraid of this. I think he's probably was watching that Zock and Petrick game where Petrick just walks into the base. I feel like he doesn't actually need this PD, so might be better to reclaim it once it's no longer necessary. It looks like he has more units and the ACU is coming, so he should be fine. Has a nice score advantage thanks to, I would say, these raids down here slowing down the expansion. The bomber did slightly more work, I would say, than Adjux's did. Not much. Got an Aurora kill for free there, as well as some NGs. And yeah, might just reclaim that. I mean, you don't need it. It's 240 mass. It costs as much as a factory, so always worth remembering. Now, when you're against Aeon Mobile A, you want to aim for the anti-air, so it has Seraphim Bomber can one-shot them. They have 250 HP. And he only has one, so if you bomb it, then who knows how many more kills you can get. Adjux does have a couple inties out, locked on the bomber. And down he goes. The gun from Nexus. This Paul's air factory is well able to afford this. It's a nice amount of power he had. He was obviously aiming for this gun upgrade. Oh, this right here is a really bad decision. I mean, you just don't want to be throwing away units like that. I mean, when he's just about to finish the gun and he's gonna walk into the ACU and basically push this entire army back with the gun upgrade, he just lost like probably like 10 tanks, or almost around that. But it should still be fine. The gun is probably still enough to just win the game right now anyway. But you want to try time your attacks better. You don't want to be throwing away units just before you're ready to do your actual push, you know. So all this T1 shit, all these Auroras are just, oh no, there's so much power going into this. No wonder Adjux is stalling like a madman. I mean, he has so many engineers building these P-gens. He's just gonna, use a massive amount of power now. Get all these pigeons up, spaced out from each other, and then just try and rush this gun upgrade. Or both gun upgrades, actually. Nice move to just... I mean, Nexus just seemed not ready for this, but he's actually raided the entire left side now. And Nexus done the same to the bottom right. But actually, oh, this is... I don't like... It's pretty dangerous having all these units split up. They can get killed by smaller forces then. Adjux has done a good job not giving Nexus too many kills with the ACU, but there's a lot of dead Aurora now on this left side. He committed so many tanks and didn't retreat them. Here comes the gun, still making pigeons. You don't want to be making pigeons while you're just rushing a gun upgrade, because pigeons cost a lot of power. See, he's actually over build power now. Doesn't have the mass. What do you do now? You gotta get back map control. And it's gonna be really tough. This gun upgrade commander is just pushing you everywhere across the map. There's the gun. I mean, he has so much power now, he can overcharge anything, but there's no T2 bots to overcharge. Maybe he could go for some pause his land and go for T2 air snipe. Just rush some mercies because it's so much power, or gunships even. Might be interesting. Might be the way to go. Abuse those Aeon mercies. Nexus desperately trying to farm vet. He only has 23 kills so far. He's over halfway to his second vet level. Well, the Adjux is only halfway to his first. Oh, he's giving up kills here. It's gonna help Nexus a lot. As the Aurora get trapped against this wall. Adjux doing a good job though. Pushing on the top. I mean, I wonder. could see a situation there where they both just go for each other's bases. There's an insane number of Zooies here. It's mostly Zooies. More Zooies than tanks, so that would just crush this base very quickly, and there's no way it could stop a gun commander. There's not even engineers in the base at all to make PDs. That definitely could have been a possibility. Now Nexus is sending those tanks in. Zooies forcing Adjux to bob and weave. And it looks real bad for Nexus now. Oh, the Aurora just run in, and they're just gonna get crushed then when they do that. And Adjux has nothing left to work with. Nexus just had too much health. Not enough tanks. Not enough tanks for Adjux. And gets taken out. Damn, you can see how well he was doing here, like getting all these mech spots. But Nexus didn't let him escape, so... Oh, look at all this. This damage is huge as well. So yeah. Well done Adjux, but he couldn't get away. And also well done Nexus getting the kill right there and then. When perhaps the game could have turned. It looked like it was turning a bit. I mean, you can't just lose this many P-gens and not feel it. Although, I guess he did maybe overbuild. But he lost all of his mexes. You see, he has 5 mexes. And Adjux has 16. I I mean, it's temporary. You don't think he's gonna hold on to this forever, but it could turn the game. T2R would have been cool from Adjux. Maybe that would have been the way. But I think, yeah, we have one more game. Okay, I actually gotta go through this fast. I think around Certus, Nexus and Adjux again. This will be the last one for this cast. Let's see, yeah, Adjux Aeon again. I guess he is just maining Aeon. Nexus has the UEF this time around. So we'll see the same build orders. P-Gen mechs, see the engineer build some mechs as well. It's very greedy mass-wise. Adjux gets every mechs and no P-Gen. That's pretty low on power, so you can see he's gonna stay with the engineers. He's not gonna immediately go and build the land factories here. Going for a very early transport. That's interesting. Nexus very heavy on scouts in his mix. Maybe that's a bit too much. I wonder what this transport is for. I don't know what the plan is. Maybe it's just for expansion to here. But he does already have an engineer there basically instantly, so let's ring up a radar because he lost his land scout. And he's forced to pause as well, because he can't afford to lose these Aurora. Needs the radar. So transport's delayed. That's not ideal considering he planned this from the start of the game. Let's see where he uses it. Maybe it's just going to be a fast drop to do damage here, deny this expansion. It's certainly a good idea. It would be well timed. You can see that it's not going to be a factory. Just some engineers and mechs. This mech's still untaken. Transport is out. Nexus is heading to mid. He's didn't even go to this side which he normally goes to. Probably because he's against Aeon, I would say. Or maybe just personal choice. He built more in his base instead. It looks like it's just gonna be expanding a little bit. That's some try-hard stuff right here. Grab an NG, drop them where you want. You can give orders to NGs before they land. So like if I do this, load, and then I tell him to load here, then I select him, and then I tell him to build that shit, and he's gonna do it after he lands. Now that's real try-hard. I want to see people doing that. Nice raiding. The Aurora get into the base. The bombers are missing. Oh, got one that time. It's 3 kills, but the engineer's gone down. This guy's still alive. That's quite good. And he's not gonna kill all the mexes, but it's still nice damage. This is interesting. Don't know where these guys came from. Adjux. Nexus is so far away when he's reclaiming this. I didn't even... Like, what? How is he so far away?
Commander under attack.
That's interesting. He was fucking miles away from that when he was reclaiming. I'd never been able to actually do that when I've tried. From that range, it seems to have always not allowed me to reclaim. If we look at total reclaim, it's basically identical. I think they both got fair whack of that mid-mass. Adjux has a nice force on top, but the bomber's coming in. Some Aurora doesn't kill the anti-air, but there's no scout in here, so the anti-air can't actually make use of its range, which is significant. Where are the scoots? Here's a scoot. Need some more of them. Maybe a more forward radar, because Nexus has even grabbed these mexes. It's kind of cheeky. Oh, nice drop. Nice drop. That's pretty nice stuff. Definitely what you want to see. I mean, he already raided it, so he knows, again, Nexus is just retaking it in the process of retaking it. Unfortunately, he only denies the Hydra, doesn't deny anything else. The Hydra isn't a massive deal at this stage of the game. There's already a lot of P-gens built, and T2 P-gen probably on the way very soon. T2 land not exactly rushed by Nexus. He's not so scared of the Aurora that he is just instantly rushing T2. Bit of a battle on top. Adjux looking pretty good. 4 mexes. You can see Nexus always the heavy eco. He's making a lot of T2 mexes. Seems like he will always just upgrade these 6 very quickly. He's got this one building now. And yeah, storage is going up. It's a lot of mass in the bank. I mean, I don't see any support factories. Commander at the bottom fights off this Aurora. Good use of the commander there. A lot of kills to be got. Adjux starting the range gun, and T2 Air HQ is done for him. Yeah, see, when you're making these support factories, we got one here, I think you should be assisting them as they're upgrading. They don't upgrade super fast. If we look, oh, that one's upgrading now. Let's see, it's a minute 20 to upgrade. That's not that fast. Another thing to note is that when you're upgrading support factories, it's actually a pretty good time to upgrade a mechs as well. Or it can be, and you don't want to run out of units, but support factory costs, you can see it's consuming -4 when it's upgrading, and then it's consuming -9 when it's finished. So that's something to note when you're trying to balance your economy. When the support factory's upgrading to a support factory, it's going to be consuming less than it will when it's actually producing units as a T2 support factory. That sounds very convoluted, the way I phrased that, but hopefully you understand. Mongoose and pillars. Yeah, these pillars just easily dealing with this Force Aurora. Nexus has nano. Very unusual to see someone make nano as their first upgrade. Generally, you would see the gun before nano. Gunships move in, get some raiding done on mexes, which are surely about to die to land anyway. Might have been better to be sending the gunships here, where there aren't units. Just details. Mongoose are always also a good target for air units, bombers and gunships, thanks to that low HP. Nexus with his own gunships, they get tagged down pretty low. There's a nice number of mobile A, T1 mobile A. We have the gun coming up for Nexus now. Oh, Nexus. It looks like he may be losing air here. Actually, no, he has pretty good numbers. And, oh no, the Swifties just suicide alone. That was really an air micro fail, I gotta say, from Adjux. Maybe it's to do with hotkeys. Because his two different types of fighters he had got split up. Oh, Janice. Carpet bombing. Missing a huge amount and actually getting absolutely annihilated. How many? You got 9, so that's about 300 or 400 mass. Mobile A. Attacking singular Janus bombers. Gunasu can easily kill all of this. Janus is going to get a drop. He's actually going to die again. Oh god. On the top, Mongoose. We're watching a meme game, guys. Mongoose and Janus. And now we have a huge number of pillars just aiming at Adjux's ACU. This force is disgusting. And he's Nexus dropping his commander just for extra swag points to the front. Now, the only problem I see here is a complete lack of gunships. So he really ought to be keeping his ACU very close because some mercies could come in at any time. 3 harbs are out and they're going to absolutely decimate these pillars, but Adjux is taking so much fire from the pillars and he goes down. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a pretty nice game to end. You can see Nexus was dropping over here. All these T2 mexes were probably dead. But again, you see that no T2 gameplay from Adjux as the Aeon. And I mean, at some point you end up dying. Your Aurora end up dying to T2 units, and the T2 units just have taken no damage. Or so Nexus had a massive pillar army there in the mid, and he kind of just barely killed Adjux at the end. I feel like he was very close to just escaping. I mean, the 3 harbs could have actually just dealt with the entire pillar army, basically. The problem was obviously going to be the ACU, but if the ACU is going to walk this close to a T2 air factory with no anti-air and the intis aren't even nearby, then you've got some pretty good chances to snipe him. So pretty risky from Nexus, but he gets the kill, so you can't really complain too much. You can definitely complain about his complete lack of shields and flak, but yeah, you can see why he's going for the kill there is because he has no T3 land at all. Air control, he's liable to lose. There's quite a few swift wins, like 19 now. That's a lot. So maybe that was it. That was when he had to go. when the harbs were already out. And there's lots of eco for Adjux. So well played, Nexus. Nice, nice drop with the ACU to mid to get him to the front. Definitely made a big difference. GG. Thanks for watching, guys. Go check out these replays in the vault. Check out all the stuff going on in the forums. There's plenty of people talking. Lots of talking. So, yeah. See you next time. And play more ladder.